Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Pope Metallicus, and welcome to Rock and Roll Religion Episode 2, where we take some of my favorite records and some of your favorite records, and we break them down into their component parts and take them to church, and really figure out if they're worth buying or not. So today we have Infidel by Ambush. And I really think you guys are going to dig this one. I did. So let's get into it and see where it succeeds and fails. So to start off, Infidel, the title track. They start out fast and loud, high-paced, freaking epic intro with awesome vocals by, sorry guys, I don't actually have the names of the band members in front of me. You guys are going to have to do your own research on that one. And I probably couldn't pronounce them anyway because they're Swedish and I'm not. So, you all know how Scandinavian pronunciation goes. Speaking of pronunciation, track 2, Yipperite or Wiperite, I can't tell, but either way, it's a good song, and you should listen to it. It's got a slower, eerie kind of intro with a real rallying chorus, just that fist-pumping heavy metal sound that we all know and love. And throughout the album, I think there's been some great bass work by whoever the bassist is. I don't actually know who he is. That leads us into track 3, Leave Them to Die, which is a straight-up speed metal anthem that just kills. It's fast, loud, and out of control, exactly the way you'd want any kind of speed metal album to be. Number 4 is Hellbiter, which was released as a single with a song I'm going to talk about at the end of this as a bonus track because it's not on the album, but I think it's worth talking about because it's not only a great song, it's the song that actually got me into Ambush. So, I love this track. It's catchy as all hell. And it led to me being into this band. So, we'll talk about that in a minute. Number 5, The Summoning, which is a intro track. It's an instrumental. It's really, really eerie and has that kind of spooky guitar tone, which is something that Ambush will do throughout their career, I think, because it's been on 3 other albums so far, and I think it's here to stay, and I couldn't be more excited about it. That leads to The Demon Within, which is just a fast and loud horror movie plot, basically, with the speed metal theme. And I really need to highlight the vocals on this track because this dude can hit some really, really crazy notes. Judas Priest fans, you will be right at home here, and I say this as a man who has Screaming for Vengeance tattooed on his right arm. I think you guys are really, really going to like this. I do. Moving into track 7, a Silent Killer. A bone-crushing intro, which is just a straight-up traditional heavy metal banger. that has some pretty interesting musical notes in it. It has a pretty good tempo change in the breakdown, and I think you guys are going to like it. I do. So I really, really think you guys are going to like it. It made my playlist for this band in general. So there's that. 8. Iron Helm of War. This is pretty much, again, just pedal to the metal, speed metal, with that horror-ish theme that they've always been, horror and fantasy theme, that kind of almost puts them in the power metal genre, which is not a bad thing. And those operatic vocals are still just awesome. Again, Priest fans, you are going to love this record. This is Priest in their prime, but being recorded in 2020. Going into the next track, Heart of Stone. It's a slower track, but it's heavy as hell. And it really is just a celebration of those who love and play rock and roll. And which heavy metal is a subset of, and none of us are ever shy about saying it. Rock is where we came from. Rock is what most of us love, and we can't get away from it because it's a good genre that has a great sound to it. And the further away we get, death metal, I'm looking at you here, it doesn't sound as good. So for the metal genres, I tend to like more of the ones that stick closer to the heavy metal roots, being trad heavy, power, and speed metal, with occasional divergences into first wave black metal, which we'll get into eventually. And that leads us into the last track on the album, which is Lust for Blood, which has a very, very Power Slave feeling to it. Not only the album, but the track itself sounds a lot like Power Slave by Iron Maiden. And it's a fantastic traditional heavy metal track with a little bit of that sinister edge that makes this band special, and I really, really dig it. And I think you will too. So that rounds out the album. So what do I think of it as a whole? It's a newer band playing an older style, but I fucking love that. Because these guys are doing heavy metal the right way. The way that the 80s bands did it. And that's the reason we all still listen to them. This is just a fantastic record, with Ambush just making their mark on heavy metal as a genre. And I promised we would get to this, so I'm going to talk about, as a bonus track, Heavy Metal High, the other track from Hellbiter's single. And this is the track that got me into Ambush to start with. And it's pretty much just a speed metal magnum opus that is kind of the counterpart to Judas Priest's Defenders of the Faith, which, if you guys want a great album, not just an album, but an ethos, that album is it. I really fucking love that album, that track, and this record. Even if you don't pick up Infidel as a record, I would heavily recommend you pick up Hellbiter as a single. And with that, we close out Rock and Roll Religion episode 2. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys like the record. I certainly do, or I wouldn't be talking about it. Well, I might be talking about some records I don't like later on. But I like to stay positive on this channel. So I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you next time. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I love you all. Pope out.